Amazing times as ticker symbol FNGR gets the retracement and recovery that we were speaking of. Let's go ahead and dive into the charts and find out what could be happening for the following days. What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by once again. This is ARCa coming at you with an FNGR, technicals, raw price action, and statistical thread of analysis on this Thursday. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community in Discord called ARCa Bulls. With that said, let's dive right into the charts. Okay, team, so we're looking at FNGR on the 4-hour chart here, and we were expecting to see if we can get a pullback down to these zones here. Unfortunately, we actually pushed all the way back down, but what I can say is that when we do face a capitulation event like this, this is essentially a long shakeout, which is usually done before an upside move is coming. This is immediate rejection from the bulls, meaning that they were already set with limit buy orders all the way down to this, and it just pressured the price action straight to the upside. Yeah, this is actually a very good sign, and the reason why I'm saying it's very good is because it increases volatility. It increases volatility by a drastic amount, and when it recovers to the upside, then it pressures momentum to the upside with that same volatility. Then it actually validates several volatility versus momentum moves to the upside, which is absolutely something that I look for. Okay, so as you can see, I'm actually looking at this on the 4-hour chart. So if I hover over this very top side of the volatility profile up here, and you can see that on the price action, I'm hovering over this candle here, you see? So that area there, whenever we do reach volatility into critical expansion, the critical volatility zone, and start a contraction phase, that is usually typical of a mean reversion or a reversion to the mean, right? So in this case, we actually got that contraction phase, and now you can see that the 4-hour time frame is starting to curl ever so slightly here, and the EMA3 and SMA14 are starting to curl as well. Remember that volatility is direction neutral, and stochastic momentum would essentially give us that bias for direction. Okay, so this is a very good thing. Another way that we can determine to see if we actually retraced to the mean or not, right, is actually by taking into consideration my algorithm here. This is the ARC reversion variant, and you can see here that even my algorithm gave me a short signal right up here, and we ended up pumping all the way to the downside. And notice how we failed the mean. This is the mean right here at 566. And then we, made upside of it. And then we came back and validated the mean once again before a continuation to the upside. So the reversion variant is based on the metrics are on Bollinger Bands. I forgot how many standard deviations I'm setting it from the mean for the Bollinger Bands with. Right, and then the mean is actually just located based on the moving average differences and price action. So it met it very perfectly and bounced right off of that mean and continued on to the upside. And in doing so, it actually pressured, I'm sure, some of these lower time frames. So bi-hourly time frame, upside pivot and momentum, and we're contracting in volatility. Hourly time frame, we have that upside pivot and momentum as well. And we're expanding here in volatility, so that's good. It's showing a lot of strength. 30-minute time frame is already kind of lived out. It's actually showing that it may correct here too, but it already lived out that upside. So now the upside has essentially started bleeding into the bi-hourly, and the 4 hours starting to receive it now. Okay, so that's a very good indication that we could be continuing on to the upside here. Okay, so let's go ahead and keep a couple things in mind here. Let's see the 6-hour time frame. 6-hour time frame is also showing some type of effect here from the shorter time frame. So there could be enough push here to continue onwards and upwards, team. So everything is looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and take notice of this, though. The 8-hour time frame showing that we could be facing some resistance, but this is something that I've actually talked about before. Let me expand this just a bit, though, and show you the RSI. Okay, so the RSI is consistent of a bullish control zone, the upper half, and a bearish control zone. The outer workings are the bear strength percentile, and this is the bull strength percentile. Weakness is in the center. Okay, so whenever you are looking at an RSI, you can identify things like this, right? So go ahead and notice here that you'll take the 52% zone and then the 48% zone at the bottom side, and that would actually mark off a gravitational zone. Okay, so, and then, you'd be able to literally, let me get this thing back up. There we go. You'd be able to literally repeat it in every zone as such, right? So then this will give you the areas where gravitational pulls happen, right? So if price action or the RSI signal started to continue the downside here and it reaches this gravitational zone, it's likely for it to get pulled to the downside, right? So inversely, just like we're doing here, we're approaching, or we're on our way to that gravitational zone of the bull strength percentile. The moving average, the SMA 14, represented by the pink line, is located there as well, which would usually serve as a point of resistance, right? But in this case, I think we actually have the thrust and the potential to succeed the upside of the SMA 14 because we're in the gravitational zone. So we'll essentially get a pull through this and then have us move upside of the SMA 14, which in all hopium would actually turn the SMA 14 into a form of support. We'll come back validated and then continue onwards and upwards, right? So this is just typical for momentum to kind of behave in that manner, right? So I just want to express that to you too. Okay, so anyway, team, let's go ahead and move on to the next chart because there are a few things to talk about here, okay? So this, if you were streaming live with me today, awesome, right? So I actually said that because we got this short signal here from the ARQ armor indicator, the updated algorithms here that I'm about to release, since we got that downside here, when my son got hit in the head and all that, I wasn't able to make that live stream. I said that I was going to often refer to armor so that we can, determine, some weaknesses or whatever. Right. So in this case, we were waiting here and we were pumping and pumping and pumping. And we started noticing that there was this green bar like this. This green bar started printing on this candle here. So, we started speculating literally today, we started speculating that, oh, you know what, this is probably going to get a long signal too. And we started noticing that some of those blue lines started printing on the momentum averages, right? The exponential moving averages. And so the next candle came in at open, and I mean, sure as hell, right? Surely it printed that long signal at 572, and the price action continued onwards and upwards. So it was very good for us to kind of witness that in person, right? And see the algorithms work live. And it was quite impressive, actually, that we did get that long signal. And notice here that, price action came back down, right? And it started penetrating here some of the relevant supports. And still, the algorithm did not print short, right? So, in fact, we're starting to get another green print here and another arrow to the upside. So there could be another long signal printed very soon. Okay, so I think everything is looking pretty good for FNGR for the coming days. Should you have any questions or inquiries regarding the pre-orders for the ARQ indicators, definitely reach out to Ike or myself at arqindicators@gmail.com. And please know, by the way, that there has been a lot of attention in the email regarding this, right? So we'll go ahead and reply to everyone accordingly. But please go ahead and just show a little bit of patience, and we'll make sure to get you situated, okay? But thank you so much for all that support, team. Let's move on to the last part of the analysis. Actually, you know what? I think I may have. Real quick, the 12-hour time frame, very, very attractive hammer candle printing here after a downtrend. Okay, that usually signals a continuation to the upside. And the following candle after a hammer candle like this, the following candle printing would be the confirmation candle for a continuation to the upside. And the candle that we got here printed on the 12-hour, printed all the way to 625. So this is absolutely bullish, and it's suggesting a continuation to the upside even still. Okay, so now this would be the last part. This is very exciting. I hope you're still listening up to this moment here. If you are listening up to this moment, because I know not a lot of people do, please let me know in the comments below that you are, and you're about to receive some information that no one was getting from the beginning. Okay, so this is now on you, you have the benefit of knowing this. Okay, this is the weekly time frame. Okay, as you know, weekly time frames are macro perspective, and they usually carry a lot of weight when it comes to analysis or technicals and things like that. Okay, so what you're noticing here is that the EMA 21 is making its way right up to the EMA 55, and it's not just making its way up to it, it's making its way up to it with an upside pivot on both moving averages, and that would, in the next, I'd say maybe one more week, or I mean, this is about to close in 19 hours and 58 minutes. Ridiculous. Okay, so we may actually get a silver cross effective tomorrow. I don't know, or Monday. Okay, but we're gonna have to go ahead. Sorry, I got a hair in my mouth. We're gonna have to go ahead and validate that and take a look at this. We're gonna be streaming live tomorrow again, team. So go ahead and come by. I'll try to be there by around 7:30. You know, just trying to readjust my son's schedule since we got that gash in the head, right? So now, yeah, team, this is very powerful for the asset. Anytime that there is a silver cross, like right here, price action literally just comes back, validates it, and continues onwards and upwards, right? So here was yet again another one, right? This is actually the inverse side of it. It just it was bearish. In this case, I wouldn't actually consider it. This is kind of a black swan, right? So let's see if we have it's not in the weekly time frame. We don't have another one, right? But it's all good. We have at least one that we can look at, right, for as an example for the upside. So I would have to warn though that just like this one here, you know, we started pumping to the upside in anticipation of that silver cross. So it's doing that right now. We're moving in anticipation of this silver cross. And eventually the price action ended up coming back down to test the EMA 55 and the 21 before a continuation to the upside. I just want you to know that this is a little far away. It wouldn't happen just yet, and I don't think I'm not seeing any signs that would suggest that. Okay, so what I'm looking at here is actually a continuation to the upside. The pressure would actually would influence the two moving averages to cross each other, and that would make the silver cross. And then upon some continuation to the upside, I don't know, potentially around $14, right? So we would essentially face a pullback and then come back and test the EMA 21 and the EMA 55. But this is a weekly time frame. I mean, look at this, right? So as soon as we crossed it, it literally took what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On the 7th week, it came back to validate those supports, right? So just so you know that it's gonna be a little timely here. And yeah, I definitely think that we could be facing a very nice gesture from FNGR in the coming week. Okay, you guys, so this is looking very good. Please remember, first and foremost, that I am not a financial advisor. Take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy, sell, or hold any assets whatsoever. I'm going to talk about this target right here real quick before we finish, right? I need you to do your own due diligence and everything will be cool, team. But yeah, this is essentially the targets that I'm looking at come tomorrow, right? 655 to 703. We're redoing the same play yet again, right? Just this time, right, with a capitulation event and a continuation to the upside, which pressures bulls into the lead. Okay, so this is looking pretty good. And I do expect some nice price action coming in tomorrow. Okay, team. So with that said, I wish you well a very, very good night. And I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.